remembered it was last lap, so I wanted to go before second place passes me, And these guys are like trying to, do tests, see if I'm okay, and like they're like, how many fingers? And I'm telling them, and then they're like, okay, you're good, you can go. And then I'm like, wait, which way is the track going?
But how many countries you've been to for motocross?
So I've been to Uganda. Uganda been to a lot. Tanzania, been to Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa. I haven't been to Namibia. Yeah, I think that's about it in Africa. But then yeah, also in the US.
Mm.
So I ended up living in Florida for a little bit. Chicago. Yeah, that's about it.
Damn.
Yeah.
So like, okay, I'll say for example, like in Africa, those countries in Africa, are those like hubs for like tournaments or events?
Yeah, so those ones for Africa are what they call those MX of Africa Nation.
You mentioned it.
So that every year, you're gonna go to a different country. So like last year was South Africa. We went to Cape Town, and then this year it's supposed to be in Morocco.
Is it like a league or is it like a?
It is. It's like a championship. It's a championship where the whole of Africa comes together, and it's not so much. I mean, yeah, it is an individual race, just you and your bike. But then at that point, when you're going as a team, it's a team. Like you're representing Kenya. So yeah, that's about it.
Any goals or anything we should look out for coming soon? Or?
I think it'd be definitely good to introduce a lot more riders into the sport. Just to get it to have more competition, or get it to the point where people can make money off of racing. I think that would be really cool, because what those kids do out there, it's not it's definitely not easy, and it's something that I think people should definitely get paid for, for participating, or winning races and things like that here in Kenya. Maybe eventually, I feel like that would be a goal for me, is that we have a big Kenyan team, having tracks in Vipingo, Mombasa, whatever. Nakuru, so that when we end up going to represent Kenya, we have a big team. And it's crazy because you don't have to be, at that point, you don't all have to be fast, it's just, if we go, 6 decent riders in one class, all of them score points, and then
it adds up.
It adds up. So last year, Kenya ended up finishing second in the 50 category. 50 category is like the young kids, around 6 to like 11 years old. No, not 11, 6 to like 8 or 9 years old. And we ended up finishing second against South Africa. Zambia is also a strong team, but we beat those guys. Namibia, Mozambique, and it's just because our riders in 50 were all, they were all pretty good, and they were consistent, and then they end up scoring points that they ended up getting second, which is a pretty good achievement.
Jeez.
So, but yeah, just building a big team where we can have a lot of riders, many races around Africa, well, not even Africa, but Kenya. One time we race in Masinga, or we go to Nakuru, Naivasha, and things like that. That would be really cool. And then also if people could definitely make money, that would make the competition go up.
But I think the money aspect, I think it's because there are not many people watching motocross right now.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah,
the market is a bit low. And what do you think is the best way to attract these guys?
We just have to, we have to hold we have to do good marketing for races. I feel like if we have a full class, so like in a 50 category, if we have 40 riders, I think 40 riders is what they take at the race. We have 40 gates. If we can fill that, with all riders, and not only for 50, but like all the classes, all the way up to big bikes, what I'm racing. Once you have those numbers, then you know, it's gonna be a big crowd, and once there's a big crowd, and you know, people start to like, hey, what's going on over there, and now companies come, and I think it just starts like that. So I feel like it's you know, making sure that, you know, in fact, what's crazy is that in the US, you know, a race could only take 40 kids, but then they have 70 kids that want to sign up for that race.
So there's like a short list.
Yeah, they have to do like a qualifying race and things like that. If we can get to that point, that would be really cool. I mean, it'd suck for some people that can't make the race, but
it's good for the sport.
Once you have those numbers, then it's definitely good. And then also the competition goes up and everybody just ends up getting better.
Because I think Kenya is a hub of East Africa, bro. Us guys should be able to be doing such things.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So slowly.
Because our noisy neighbors, UG,
noisy neighbors.
yeah, man, they're very those are competitors, bro. You know.
Yeah. So, how many categories are there? And then, what's the winning prize?
Yeah.
So we have 50cc, the young kids. 65 is the next class with gears and a clutch. 50 has no well, it just has one gear, but it's like an automatic bike. So from 65cc going up are all, you know, clutches with the gear, so you get to select gears and use your clutch.
What's the age group? Sorry, what's the age group for this?
That one, honestly, I'm gonna butcher that. I hope you didn't answer it. 65 I think is about from 9 or 10 to like about 13, and then 85cc is the next big bike, which is, you know, 14 to around 15, and then 125, which is, I think, you know, 14 also. I think 125 you can definitely ride on your 14 around there. And then you have the 250s and the 450. So the 250 and 450 you can ride. 250 you can ride from 16 and above. And 450 I think is also about 16 or 17. Yeah.
Damn.
The prize, it sucks because we just get a trophy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because right
go
now
home with the trophy and a medal and a certificate, which is
it's quite demoralizing at the same time.
Even the African tournament.
No, those ones are different, definitely.
Those ones, the MX of Africa.
Gotta get a bag and that.
You don't really get a bag like that. I mean, it depends, you know, with the rider. So like the guys in South Africa where it's a little bit more serious, they might get a bonus from, you know, their sponsors. But it's not like, okay, if you win that race you're gonna get, you know, 5,000. It's not like that. There is definitely some. I know Uganda do have this one race. They call it I don't know what they call it. It's like a military appreciation race, and that one has a pro pass. Like it has a bag to it, which is crazy because they do that, but then most of the riders that come are from the US. So they come. I mean, it's a good thing, you know. They encouraging the sport, whatever. But I can't remember how much it was previously. But it's definitely good amount, and which was cool because it was sectioned out to everybody, you know, will get something. Obviously, first place will take the most. And then there's also from the whole shot, from the start, the person who reaches the corner first wins like $1,000. So that one is sweet, you know. But yeah, I think that's the only cool, race that I know of. They put like a pass to it. So apart from that,
damn.
So if you're trying to be professional at motorsports, the way I'm understanding, the only way you can make it is if you have the sponsors.
Yeah.
Because the races, it depends if the race is not monetized that much.
It's not. It's mostly here in Africa. In the US, it's completely different. In the US, they have races that, you know, they even have a money class. I mean, most races, the pro guys, the A class, will always have a payout. Not so much the younger kids. unless the whole event is like a money class thing. But yeah, here in Kenya, apart from that one in Uganda, there's no other, you know. So it's very hard for you to make money, you know, even to now get sponsors, you know.
So
Yeah.
even this company is like, okay, when I see motorsport, I see like the Red Bulls, the Monsters, and stuff like that. Are they really involved in Africa and stuff like that?
Or is it just like
No,
a marketing
they could
thing?
definitely do more. They're not involved that much. And I don't know, you know, the facts about around it. You know, maybe we don't have the numbers for it or something like that. But in the US, it's crazy. You know, they get sponsored literally the whole year. They'll get, you know, packages sent out to them or things like that. But here, Red Bull doesn't reach out, or you know, or even Monster. They don't. I think there was one time we were about to start working with Monster, but you know, they just it hasn't gotten to that point where they're able to, you know, sponsor one ride and thing, which sucks. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's quite tough.
I thought they sponsored the jacket over there.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Actually, this jacket is crazy. So what happened is I got a job in the US for 2 years as a mechanic. This is after I ended up my riding career. Well, not ended, but like once I stopped taking it seriously or pursuing it as a career, I ended up going back and I got a job as a mechanic. So it was crazy story. I was working with this kid. He's called Leo Tucker. He's like 16. Well, now he's I think about 18. And you know, his family understood that that's what he wanted to do for life, and they ended up getting a second house, you know, in Florida, where I was just living with him, and I was his guardian. So his parents would like live in another state, and then I would, you know, have to make him food or take him to the races, make sure his bike is ready to go. And so that's how I got this jacket, is that he's sponsored by Monster. And this actually, you can't get this jacket off like a, you know, the website. So when you're sponsored by Monster, I think they have different tiers. You know, there's tier 1 to tier 2, tier 3, and things like that. So at the time, I don't know what tier he was in, like tier 2 or tier 3. And they, you know, they send you, you know, clothes and things like that. So that's how I ended up getting this.
Some exclusive.
Yeah.
Damn.
Which is cool, because at the top tier, then you start getting custom helmets and, you know, sweet things like that.
Jeez.
How was that experience? Like just being a guardian and also
Just looking after,
yeah, it's a sport that you love, but now you have to swallow your pride.
Yeah, it was a
You
bit,
know.
it was mixed. It was, yeah, like how you said, it was like a bag, you know, mixed of emotion, because I saw it's like, okay, this kid is, you know, he's living my dream, and it's like his parents really never cared if, you know, he did school. I mean, they did care, but like it wasn't a priority.
Yeah.
So, you know, all they wanted was that he did good on the bike. And then on me, the other hand, I had to make sure his bike is ready or take him to races. And I had my bike there, I could ride, but then finding even the time to ride for fun wasn't that easy, because, you know, it's like a once in a while I would ride
So
a
many
little bit.
races did the kids participate?
A lot. Literally, you know, the only way you can measure progress is to race.
Yeah.
And the good thing in the US is that every weekend you could definitely find a race easily. And it's crazy, because if you go 2 hours in this direction, there's a track.
Yeah.
And if you go 3 hours in this direction, and you know, 3 hours in the US is not crazy. It's like that, you know, it's a short drive.
Yeah.
So there's weekends where we'd be in North Carolina from Thursday to Friday, or from Thursday or Friday to Sunday, and then we come back to the training facility where the home base, spend like 2-3 days, and then next weekend again we go to South or Indiana or.
So you shot to tour the whole America?
Oh yeah, I traveled quite a bit, which was fun, you know. It's
With
you
an
know, I
experience
get
at the
to
same
drive.
time, yeah.
You know, I get to drive around and see the whole of the states, and at the same time, you know, you're
Does
racing
that mean
bikes.
you have an international deal?
An international what?
License for rugby?
I do now. I don't know if it's expired, but I definitely had one. It was an American Motorcyclist Association. But also in the US, there's other clubs that you don't really have to have a license. Mostly in like in the southern part of the US, as long as you have a bike, and I mean you might have to be a part of their their whatever they call it, like their community, but it's not like a licensed something like that.
It's like ujama.
Yeah, it's
Allows
just
you to express yourself.
yeah.
Like a community thing.
Yeah, it's like a club or something like that. So yeah, it was pretty much one of the best years of my life, because
For 2 years.
as a mechanic, 2 years as a mechanic.
And also mentoring this kid.
Well, in terms of not really mentoring, he had his own coach.
Okay.
So he had the coach who would like train him on the bike and off the bike, in the gym and things like that. My job was just to make sure his bike is ready, or if I need to order parts. Yeah, if I need to order parts, I could just get parts, or things like that. So it was pretty cool. It wasn't so much as a job. The only part of it was like, damn, I'm like, damn, this could have been me. Like,
Really?
yeah.
I'm sorry to. I'm done with like jumping in.
No, it's alright.
It's calm, man. Go ahead.
It's because you're in an interesting field. So with that experience and exposure, did you like come back with contacts, or did you like think of like, okay, since I've been in this pool, why should I not try it here in Kenya, but use the connects from abroad to attract them here? Have you thought of doing something?
Yeah, exactly. That's in fact that was the whole agreement I had with my dad, is that I knew eventually I didn't want to live in the US. I wanted to come back here in Kenya and live here. So he said, like, you're gonna use this time to go and learn the most, and eventually ended up bringing it here. So there's definitely a couple dealerships that I work with, and in fact I sold some bikes to guys here in Kenya. And what I told them is like, I'm like, hey, we don't have any big dealerships here for bikes. So I'm like, if you maybe give me a good deal, then I can start buying bikes from you. So in terms of dealership for bikes, there's definitely some guys that can help me bring in bikes, gear and parts too, and things like that. And then the good thing is that they have a platform where if you've been racing, probably shouldn't be saying this, but like you can apply for discounts and things like that. But so ended up getting discounts with some companies and brands and things like that are willing to help you out, because it's like you're always buying these things.
But
So,
that only relies on the market of the racers.
well, what do you mean?
Like if you don't have many guys doing the sports.
If you don't have many, then they're not, it's probably why we don't have dealerships here, or shops and things like that.
It's booming as a football.
Yeah.
We just say like it's because the marketing right now for motocross is low.
Yeah. So that's why I ended up going there, and it was more like an experienced thing, because I was able to see how they manage the tracks. So at least now with my track, I know what I have to do to get it ready, or to do things like that.
We'll draw some photos of his track.
Definitely.
You will see them right there.
Oh, I was gonna ask. Since you came back to the track, how did you even start making the track? What does that?
That part is difficult. I mean, that one I think you have to have experts for it, because it involves a lot of stuff. You just can't go and start building a track. You have to think about drainage and things like that. So for my track, we had there's a German trainer. He's also actually a world champion. He's old now, but in his time he was pretty much a champion, a world champion, and I think he's like about he's almost 60. Well, not 60. I think 50, 55. Or he's still pretty old. But what's crazy is that guy is fit. So when he came to build my track, and he was like, yo, let's he's healthy guys, like let's go for a run, and I'm out there jogging with him, and I'm like, damn man, this guy's old but he's fit. But yeah, going back to your question, is that you have to have like knowledge of how the track should go. It's supposed to be natural.
Yeah.
It's better on on a piece of land that has a lot of elevation, and you're able to work the jumps with the natural layout of the track. So he was able to see that. In fact, he didn't even make like a design. He had it all in the head after seeing the land. So he would kind of like walk around and have the dozer right behind him to cut a route. And what he said, I remember him saying was that you don't want it to have back and forth loop. You go, you turn around, and you come back. What he made it was like, how you follow like a map on your GPS.
Yeah.
It's like a long lap. So it's you go, you do some corners there, then you come back to this other side, and then you go back. So that's what he ended up doing. And then for the jumps, you kind of look for the highest part of the track, and you bring them together. So you make a face on this side, and then you make another landing on this side, and then you kind of shape them out. So instead of putting a lot of dirt in one area, you use like the highest part of the land to just put a face here, and then on the other side you put a landing.
So boom, boom,
and then you jump.
Damn.
So yeah, it took him about I think like let's say 2 weeks to do the whole track, but it came out really nice. Something I'm always looking forward to is to ride, and also to bring the riders we have here to over there, because I feel like it's a longer track. It's more of realistic motocross track. But yeah, something I'm excited.
Would you look to hold tournaments there?
Yeah, so we are planning for a fun race in September, sometime in September, where you're not gonna score points for a championship, but like it's more of an introduction to where you get the members to be comfortable with the track, and just an introduction to to the track. I mean, so there'll be a winner, but it's not like he's gonna make points so that at the end of the race or the end of the year, he's crowned like the winner of that class and things like that.
Cool, man.
But yeah, next year hopefully I'd like to have 2 races that are part of the championship, and we'll definitely have other events aside from that, like training camps, or where you have somebody that would like to do training, they don't have a bike, and things like that with off-road, where we can come and for a long good weekend. There's camping areas over there, and can be something pretty sweet.
Hey man, that's cool, man.
Did you ask about your bike CC?
Yeah, so it's 450 Yamaha. It's 2022.
Cruise bike?
No, dirt bike.
That bike.
Yeah. That's the one I have now. Though I had another Yamaha 450, but it broke down, and right now it's in pieces. I need to get parts for it. I ended up buying back my 125cc. That's a 2012. That one I have in the garage, and I also have a 250 Honda CRF 250 2013.
For those guys there watching,
it'll be the Google.
But
you feel me?
Yeah, no, I enjoy the 450, man. I feel like just because I'm a heavier person, and when it gets competitive like that, you can't be too heavy on a bike with a lot of with less
By the way,
horsepower.
It's quite straining on your body at the same time, huh? Because you have to be in shape, because you can't be heavy on a bike and you can't be too light on a bike.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's not just riding. I mean, you can just ride, but like if you're trying to take it seriously, then a lot of people, or what we did in the US is like what I said, after 6 hours of training, you're gonna go into the gym to strengthen your core, because you're just not riding. If you think about it, like you have to squeeze your core, to hold on to the bike, or you have to have strong legs to hold on to the bike. So like there's definitely a physical aspect to it where you have to, and then you also have to have like good cardio, because it's not you're gonna be riding for a while.
Well, you can't be.
Yeah, you can't be choming figures and then going to try. And I mean, there's definitely some people that do. In fact, I remember my trainer telling me that back in these days there was a test rider for those big brands that he was a smoker or drinker and things like that, but he would still jump on the bike and beat people that weren't. And I mean, it's a freak, but like,
Yeah, it's not recommended.
it's definitely not, and it's not healthy for you, because you need your lungs to help you breathe out there. Like my race is like literally 20 minutes, and it's crazy because I think honestly, personally, I think it's the most physically demanding sport. It's
And
just
considering
you
you're
on your
doing
bike.
like
So when even before the gate drops, my heart rate is above, above normal, and then it stays like that for 20 minutes, and then once in a while you'll have like a near-death experience where it spikes to
boom.
200.
Jeez.
200 is max.
Yeah.
So
Worst accident you've had?
worst accident I think is when I broke my wrist. I don't know if 2021.
Kenya?
No, I was in the US.
Okay.
So what happened is that
Yeah, medical is okay.
Ambulance, helicopter,
yeah, yeah, I mean, it definitely felt better that it happened there.
Trust man, over here Kenya, bro.
I mean, yeah,
Traffic.
traffic. Hey, you can cry.
By the time you get to the hospital.
Unapigwa tu mara moja.
Utakuwa tu sawa. But I remember when I was younger, I broke my leg here at Jamhuri, and I was at the track with my dad. I don't know, I jumped the jump and
This same track.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
ended up breaking my leg, and it was just him and I at the track, and he didn't know where I was because my bike was off. He couldn't see me, and I was just there laying on the ground,
Ouch.
gasping for air. And I remember I was young, but I could still remember properly. But it wasn't as bad. The one that was really bad was my wrist, which was in the US. I think it was in January. So normally I used to come back for Christmas, and then I go back. So when I went back, I didn't realize I took a month off. And once you take that time off when you're coming from riding, it's gonna take you a month just for you to get back to where you are.
There's a confidence with the
Yeah.
bike.
So me, second day after New Year's, I ended up riding like I've been riding, and there's a section that has rollers. So the it's like waves like this, and bike ended up getting out of control, and I put my hand out to save myself.
Ouch.
That's all I remember was this. And
Blackout.
then, you black out for a bit. Then I remember waking up, opening my eyes, and then once I saw my hand, I knew this is screwed. This is
Was it upside down? How was
well. It was a compound fracture. Like it didn't take a doctor to tell me that it was broken. So it was one of those
Jelly.
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Like my bone was almost sticking out.
God damn.
And once I saw that, then the pain came. And then you're like trying to gasp for air, and it's like it's so painful that you can't cry. It's like you're first trying to breathe, But yeah, I went through that ordeal. But the good
Bruh,
thing
my
about
hand
it
is
is
feeling
that
some type of way already, man.
when you get to the hospital there in the US, they get that thing under control, and in seconds, I remember my trainer telling me if when they ask you what's the pain level, you tell them max. So they give you strong medicines, and you don't feel it until like after surgery, which but yeah, after that then after surgery you have to go through physio and things like that, and you help your hand get back back to place. I think that, and there's also I've had a couple concussions, and one was last year in Vipingo, just before the race I went to in South Africa. I think it was the last lap, and there's a section with like whoops again, but it was uneven, so you'd get like 2 of them, and then a small gap, and then 3 of them, and a small gap, and 4 of them. So as the day went, the track would get rough, and I started figuring out like a different way through that section, and what I found was that maybe I could wheelie, because before the first two of those bumps, I'm like, it'd be cool to wheelie all of them. So second last lap, it was like 3 laps I did it in a row. The first time I tried it, I wasn't able to do all of them. Then the second time I tried it, almost. And then the last lap, like literally I had the white flag going to get the checkered. I was able to wheelie all of them. But then when I put my front wheel down, it went down too fast and it ended up sending me over the bars.
Jeez.
So remember, the first thing I hit was my head. And then...
Speaking of, by the way, because you said you hit your head, there are different types of helmets, right? With different types of...
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I use a 6D helmet, which I think it's very good. I mean, it's expensive. It's like $600-700.
Jeez.
But, yeah, I remember hitting my head, and I get up, and I didn't know what was going on or which direction the track was. So first thing I'm asking these medics, the medics were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I remembered it was last lap, so I wanted to go before second place passes me, And these guys are like trying to, do tests, see if I'm okay. And like, they're like, "How many fingers?" And I'm telling them. And then they're like, "Okay, you're good. You can go." And then I'm like, wait. Which way is the track going? And then this guy's like, no, I told him, give me my bike. Once he showed me the way of the track, I got on, and then you can't go fast at that point. I just wanted to like roll to the finish so I don't lose a lot of points. But yeah, I ended up getting up, and then you roll slowly. And before I finished my last lap, it felt like deja vu, which was crazy. It felt like I'd, been through that before.
Damn.
But yeah, I ended up finishing first because I think I had a big gap between second place. And then 20-30 minutes after, then you start to feel the pain. Not like in the head, but like other areas that, that got hit, So like my leg was a little bit jammed, my back and things like that.
Damn. Tough.
Yeah, concussions are a little bit scary, I think it'd be better to break a bone.
Damn. So... Right before we finish, man, I just want you to tell the guys when your next race is gonna be. Probably we can get a crowd,
Yeah, next race will be April 14th, here at Jamhuri. There's one coming up this month in Uganda. I'm not gonna go for that. I'm gonna stay around here. I'm fasting. But they're gonna come back again in December. But for the next one, it's gonna be April 14th, Jamhuri here, next to the polo ground. So that should be good. Tickets are, I think, for adults like 300.
Nice.
Kids is about 100 or something like that. So it's not too crazy.
Yeah.
It's definitely affordable.
Yeah, that's affordable.
Very
And
affordable.
the good part is that Gecko Cafe goes over there. They set up a place where they have drinks,
Shawarma
food.
is there.
Yeah, there's Bob's barbecue, proper shawarma, and Mark Fries also come sometimes, and they have a good. So you can you can come with friends. You set up a tent even. You can even bring your own food. You do your own barbecue. You bring your own drinks.
It's a vibe.
and things like that. It is.
We'll definitely pull up for you. And then
You know what I'm
also
saying?
I appreciate it, man.
in the sporting world,
I
definitely.
know.
It's something that we
We're looking into.
we had mentioned about it, and since now you coming on board gives us a good.
No, it's definitely a good time. You guys are definitely welcome. We'll enjoy for sure.
No. So my
Do some
guys,
racing.
this is Apollo. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We out here on Tubonge. Thank you for coming through, my G.
Oh yeah. Thanks for having me.
Oh, before you go,
Yeah.
what's the highest top speed?
Yeah, by the way, huh?
I wish I could tell you. And
He says by time last time,
you're
yeah?
in focus, you don't even
but
know.
not even that. But those bikes that we're riding, they don't have speedometers.
He just
Just go.
You just go. You don't have time to. I mean, I think I don't know how it is for like street bikes and things like that. Those guys that whistling more, and I mean, you can definitely see the gauge here. But in motocross, it's like, you really don't have time to look at a number or the gauge. You all best thing. In fact, what they say is that the faster you go, the further down you gotta look. Because you don't want to stare here. So if you're staring right here, then there's no reason for you to look at the speedometer here. But I have a rough idea, because normally when we train, we use speed guns to what speeds we're going. So it's about 60 to 70 miles per hour. I don't know how many kilometers that is, but let's say 60 to 70 miles. In a short straightaway. So those bikes, they'll pick up speed pretty fast and things like that.
Trust, man. I saw that shit last time, and man, them did a whole wheelie for like 30 meters, bro.
Wheelies are cool, but what is really sick is being able to do a slow wheelie. So pretty much almost everybody can do a wheelie, because it's like a bit of control, just to get the wheel up. But once you get the wheel up, all you have to do is just give it gas, which is easy. A lot of people could do that, but the ones that are really cool are the slow ones, where it's like walking pace, but then the wheel, they call it 12 o'clock wheeling. It's like the front wheel is straight up, and then the back fender is literally on the ground.
And it's in the...
Yeah, and it's like walking pace. Damn. So that one requires a lot more balance, a lot more, technique and control. So that one is pretty cool. Till today, I can't do it. I think that's one thing I would like to do. That one, and another cool trick would be a whip or a scrub, is when you jump in the air and you're able to change, or to just to whip the bike around. So instead of jumping this way, you jump this way, but then you're facing this way and the landing is this way. I think that is pretty cool. I got to meet, there's a freestyle rider that that does all those tricks, like backflips and like a bunch of weird tricks. And I asked him, what's your go-to trick? And he told me a whip. And it's crazy because you just go up and you bring the back end, and it's like at one point you're facing completely opposite direction. That one is that's about it.
Man, one more time, don't like to like, share, and subscribe. We out here on Tubonge. Peace.
Oh yeah, thanks, man.